What makes a superhero team stand the test of time? Well, enter the Fantastic Four, the Marvel first family who've captivated fans for decades with their mix of high-stakes adventure and heartfelt but chaotic family dynamics. Today on CBR, we're exploring everything to know about the Fantastic Four and why they remain legends of the superhero genre. Let's dive in. Let's take it way back. The Fantastic Four first exploded onto the scene in 1961's Fantastic Four #1, marking the start of Marvel's first family. Back in the thick of the space race, Reed Richards, a brilliant scientist with dreams of reaching the stars, was determined to outpace the communists and make history. He pulled together a crew of trusted companions: his fiancée, Sue Storm, her fiery younger brother, Johnny Storm, and his best friend and ace pilot, Ben Grimm. Together, they secretly launched a mission into space, hoping to be the first to explore the unknown. But things didn't go as planned. While in space, the crew got hit by a blast of cosmic radiation that their ship's shielding couldn't protect them from. They had no choice but to make an emergency crash landing back on Earth. At first, they thought it was just a close call, but before long, they started noticing some serious changes. Their bodies had been altered in the ways they couldn't understand. Instead of freaking out or hiding away, the crew decided to do what any group of superheroes would do. They decided to embrace their new reality. They chose to use their unexpected abilities to help others, making the world a safer place. And just like that, the Fantastic Four were born. Their origin story is a mix of ambition, cosmic mishaps, and a whole lot of heart, creating the blueprint for superhero teams to come. It all starts with an adventurous space mission that ended up changing their lives forever. Now, with their new powers and a shared sense of purpose, Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben were ready to take on the world. But it wasn't just about stopping supervillains and saving the day. It was about how they faced the challenges that came with being different. Together, they grew from a team into a family, relying on each other in ways only they could understand. Reed Richards isn't just the leader of the Fantastic Four, he's one of the smartest people in the entire Marvel universe. A brilliant scientist, engineer, and inventor, he's constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible. From groundbreaking discoveries in physics to designing advanced technology like the Baxter Building and the Fantasticar, Reed's genius has shaped the superhero world. But his intelligence is both a gift and a curse. He gets so caught up in his work that he sometimes forgets about the people around him, including his wife, Sue Storm. While he always has good intentions, his obsession with solving problems, whether scientific mysteries or world-threatening dangers, can make him seem distant. Deep down, though, Reed is driven by a desire to protect his family and make the world a better place. After being exposed to cosmic radiation, Reed's body became as flexible as his mind. He can stretch, expand, and reshape himself in impossible ways. Whether he's reaching across a city block, squeezing through tight spaces, or flattening himself to avoid an attack, his abilities make him nearly untouchable in battle. His body is incredibly durable, allowing him to absorb impacts that would seriously injure most people. He can even mold his hands into different shapes, like tools or shields, depending on what the situation calls for. Some people underestimate his powers compared to the more flashy abilities of his teammates, but Reed's elasticity gives him a level of adaptability that makes him one of the most formidable heroes out there. Even his brain benefits. His ability to stretch his thinking allows him to process complex problems faster than ever. Despite his flaws, Reed is the heart and mind of the Fantastic Four. His leadership, intelligence, and determination keep the team together, even when things seem impossible. Whether he's battling cosmic threats or unlocking the secrets of the universe, Reed Richards is always looking toward the future, ready to push beyond the limits of what's possible. Sue Storm might not seem as flashy as some of her teammates, but she's easily one of the most powerful members of the Fantastic Four. While her ability to turn invisible is cool, her true strength lies in her mastery of force fields. At first, Sue could only bend light around her body to disappear, but over time, she learned to generate and manipulate energy fields for both defense and offense. Her force fields are incredibly versatile. She can create barriers that protect her from almost any attack. whether it's from energy blasts or physical punches from powerful enemies. But Sue doesn't just use her powers to shield herself. As she's grown more skilled, she's learned to create force field constructs that allow her to trap enemies, form weapons, and even lift objects. She can generate shock waves with her force fields, making her just as effective in an all-out fight as any other member of the team. Whether she's stopping a bomb or making a super-powered enemy float in the air, Sue's powers give her tons of creative options in any battle. Beyond her abilities, Sue is the heart of the Fantastic Four. She's often the calm, grounded presence when tensions run high between Reed, Johnny, and Ben. Sue is incredibly protective of her family, and she's the glue that keeps the team together, making sure they stay focused on the bigger picture. Her relationship with Reed Richards is central to her story, but Sue isn't just defined by him. She's strong, smart, and independent, often showing leadership when it's needed most. Sue Storm might have started as the quieter member of the team, but she's come into her own as one of the most powerful and respected superheroes in the Marvel Universe. With her combination of strength, intelligence, and compassion, Sue is a true force to be reckoned with. Johnny Storm is hands down one of the most fun and wild members of the Fantastic Four. From the moment he gets his powers, he's got the flashiest abilities, literally. Johnny can set his entire body on fire at will, shooting flames and turning himself into a human fireball. His powers suit his daredevil personality perfectly. He's always ready for action and loves the thrill of being a superhero. Whether he's launching fireballs, creating fiery blasts, or flying around like a rocket, Johnny's flames give him tons of ways to fight and cause chaos. Speaking of flying, Johnny doesn't just walk or run, he soars through the air using his fire to propel himself. It's like he's always showing off, but hey, who can blame him when he's literally blazing across the sky? His flame powers are incredibly versatile. He can burn through almost anything, create fiery shields for protection, or light up an entire area when the team's in a pinch. But more than anything, Johnny loves the feeling of power that comes with controlling flames, and he's never shy about using them to get the job done. Aside from his powers, Johnny is a total wild card. He's impulsive, reckless, and often jumps into situations without thinking things through. That can rub people the wrong way, especially Reed, who likes to plan everything. But even though Johnny sometimes gets a little too carried away, he's always got his teammates' backs. He's fiercely loyal and will do anything to protect his family, even if it means charging headfirst into danger. His famous catchphrase, "Flame on!"
Sorry, what now?
Says it all. He's ready to take on whatever comes his way with full force. Johnny Storm is a bundle of energy and excitement, and his fiery powers and even hotter personality make him an unforgettable part of the Fantastic Four. Ben Grimm, aka The Thing, definitely had it rough compared to the rest of the Fantastic Four. While the others' powers were a bit easier to get used to, Ben's transformation was a whole different story. After being hit with cosmic radiation, his body turned into solid orange rock, and he was basically nearly indestructible. On the outside, he's the team's powerhouse, super strong and tough enough to handle any punch thrown at him. But inside, he's struggling. His new appearance makes him feel like an outcast, and he spends a lot of time wrestling with his self-image. He might be one of the toughest guys around, but that doesn't mean it's easy for him to look in the mirror. Even though he looks like a walking boulder, Ben's heart is as big as his muscles. He's a tough guy with a soft spot, always looking out for his friends and teammates, even when his appearance makes him feel like an outsider. He's not afraid to crack jokes or show off his rough and tumble attitude, but deep down, Ben's always dealing with that struggle of trying to accept who he's become. Still, no matter what's going on inside, you can always count on him to jump into the fight when it matters. He might be the team's muscle, but he's also the one who'll throw himself into danger without hesitation if it means keeping his family safe. Ben's powers give him some serious edge. His superhuman strength and tough-as-nails durability make him pretty much unbeatable when it comes to physical fights. Whether he's smashing through walls, slugging it out with bad guys, or just throwing down to protect his team, Ben's there to handle the heavy lifting. And when it's time for a fight, you'll hear his famous battle cry,
"It's clobbering time."
Ben Grimm is the tough, funny, and loyal heart of the Fantastic Four. He might look like a giant rock, but his loyalty, humor, and determination make him one of the team's MVPs. You definitely don't want to mess with the Thing. He's got the strength, the smarts, and the heart to back it up. The Fantastic Four's mission is all about pushing the limits of adventure, science, and of course, saving the day. They're not just the average superhero team. They're explorers, protectors, and a family that sticks together no matter what comes their way. Sure, their origin story started with a freak space accident, but their mission has grown into something much bigger than just fighting enemies. First and foremost, the Fantastic Four are dedicated to protecting Earth from threats that are literally out of this world. From battling supervillains with world-ending plans to stopping cosmic entities that could wipe out everything we know, they've seen it all. Every time something or someone threatens humanity, they're the first ones to step up and fight back. Whether it's a rampaging monster from another dimension or an alien overlord, the team is always there, ready to take action. It's not just about stopping evil, it's about making sure Earth stays safe from the bizarre, dangerous, and sometimes downright weird threats lurking out there. But their mission doesn't end at just saving the world. The Fantastic Four are all about exploration. They're constantly out there diving into the unknown, whether it's exploring new dimensions, discovering alien worlds, or just testing the limits of science. They are a team that's all about pushing boundaries, and they have a relentless curiosity about the cosmos. When they aren't fighting villains, you can bet they're off on some wild scientific expedition, uncovering the mysteries of the universe, and sometimes getting into even crazier situations in the process. Then there's Reed Richards, the big brain of the bunch. He's a walking supercomputer. As the leader of the team, Reed's genius intellect is at the heart of their exploration. From inventing gadgets to outsmarting bad guys, his scientific prowess has saved the day more times than anyone can count. But it's not just about his smarts. It's about how that thirst for knowledge drives the whole team to explore the unknown and take on threats beyond their understanding. Now, the Fantastic Four's mission isn't just about science and fighting evil, it's also about family. This team is basically Marvel's original family dynamic. Reed and Sue have an epic love story. Johnny and Ben have a bromance that's full of jokes and good times, and together, they're more than just a team. They're a unit. Even when they're facing down some crazy cosmic entity or having a rough day, their bond is what keeps them going. Of course, the Fantastic Four also deals with some tough ethical choices. They've got the power to change the world, but with that comes some serious responsibility. They're constantly grappling with how far they should go to protect Earth, and they often face some hard decisions about when to step in and when to hold back. But at the end of the day, they believe in the potential of humanity, and that keeps them fighting, no matter what. The Fantastic Four have always been known for facing off against some of the craziest villains in the Marvel Universe. At the top of the list is Dr. Doom, aka Victor Von Doom. This guy is basically the definition of a villain. He's not just a genius scientist, but also a sorcerer, with an ego the size of a planet. Doom's rivalry with Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, goes way back, and he's constantly trying to one-up him. His obsession with power and domination is what usually puts him in direct conflict with the Fantastic Four, making him the team's #1 enemy. Next up, we've got Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds. This cosmic powerhouse isn't evil in the traditional sense. He's more of a natural force, like a cosmic hurricane. His main problem? He needs to eat planets to survive, and Earth is often on the menu. The Fantastic Four have had to step up to stop him from annihilating their home more than once. Despite the team's best efforts, it's never an easy fight when a giant world eater shows up. The Skrulls are another huge threat. These shape-shifting aliens are notorious for causing chaos on Earth, and their ability to mimic anyone makes them incredibly dangerous. The Fantastic Four have faced them on numerous occasions, often finding themselves battling not just these aliens, but also the paranoia and distrust they spread. It's tough to fight what you can't even see, especially when a Skrull could be masquerading as your best friend, or even a government official. Then there's a Niles, a ruler from the negative zone, who's just as bad as he sounds. He's a massive, insect-like tyrant with an army ready to take over anything in their path. His main goal is to expand his control into other dimensions, which often brings him into conflict with the Fantastic Four, especially since his plans tend to be catastrophic for Earth. The Mole Man, one of the team's earliest foes, is basically the king of the underground. He leads a bunch of subterranean monsters and has it out for the surface world. While he's not as menacing as Doom or Galactus, his grudge against the Fantastic Four is personal, and his underground lairs often result in some chaotic, large-scale battles. Lastly, while the Inhumans aren't outright enemies, they've had their share of disagreements with the Fantastic Four. Their often misunderstood and sometimes violent encounters, especially with Black Bolt, have added a layer of complexity to the team's interactions with other powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. All these enemies have given the Fantastic Four more than their fair share of trouble. But it's not just about brute force. These villains challenge the team in ways that go beyond punching and kicking. They test their morals, their bonds as a family, and what it truly means to be heroes. The Fantastic Four proved that even the wildest problems can bring a family together. After their cosmic accident, they became an unstoppable team, saving the world time and time again. Their bond shows that when you've got each other's backs, no challenge is too big to tackle.
We can't run away from our responsibilities and the people we need to protect. This is who we are.
Which member of the Fantastic Four are you most excited to see in the new film? Tell us what you think about them in the comments and remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching CBR.